Hi, this is Ingrid from Quiltessential Co, and we are here today to work on our block of the month for March. And we're working again with the Goddess tool, and we're in block 3, so hopefully by now we're really getting the swing of things. So come and cut with me now. So we're going to be cutting. Here's A, you just need a 4.5-inch strip, and B, C, 4 squares, and I take my D and my E and I actually stack them right size together and then cut them into the strip you need. And the same thing with F and G. Stack them together, and then that way when we cut, it's quicker. So now we're going to sew. So let's start by doing our tall triangles. We're using this end of the Goddess tool, and we're putting this onto our A with the dotted line at the bottom, just like we did before. And we're going to cut across, down the side, and then every time we cut, we will be cutting another tall triangle, and you will have 4 that are just like this. Now for the side triangles, we've already cut these guys into our 3 1/8 inch rectangles, and I leave them stacked as 2s because I just want to do this a little faster. So I have 2 stacks of 2, and we're using the dot line on the tall triangle. If you're at all nervous, and I always make sure I can just see a little bit of fabric on the side here, but if you're at all nervous, just draw a little line here and see, can you get another one out of that? And if you do, you're good to go. But I just make sure that I'm definitely on the fabric and I can just see a smidge of fabric on the side here. So we're going to be cutting across, and don't forget to cut off this little nubbin in the corner. Super important. Now this is our second one, should be the right size, and same thing, we're going to be just cutting off that little corner piece because it's really important for our placement. So cut those guys off. When we do this, then we have our tall triangle, and each set makes 2 halves like this. So you're going to take this to the sewing machine, doesn't matter which side you sew on first. I think I'll sew this one on first. And you're going to line up so that at the bottom you have the flat piece here and the flat piece here, and you have a tiny triangle. And so you've got the side diagonal nice, this is nice with here, and then flat to flat. Sew down here and press, and then sew the other side on, and I'll meet you right back here. So now you're going to sew the second side on, and just as a hint to you, when you put that on, yes, I make sure that my flat is good here and here, but when you put these 2 triangles together here, they'll match up perfectly, and that's your piece. And then when you need to square it up, this you can square to 4.5, and you can make it absolutely perfect. Put your center line in here and just trim off whatever's left. So that's your tall triangles. Now we're working with C, and we're going to do a little cutaway, and we're working with the corner cutaway, and we're doing the small one, and you're just going to cut it away on 2 corners. So line it up with your block and cut, and then turn it around, and you're going to take the other corner off on the opposite side, and you're only doing 2. Here's for your cutaways. Now to find the triangle that we want to put on these guys, I've got these stacked together. So here you have your D and your E, and you've cut this into a strip, and I'm going to cut my little triangles from it. You're using the half square triangle end of your ruler with the 2.5 inch line. And so you put it on the bottom of your strip here. If you need to trim up the side, you can trim up the side. And you're going to cut 4 sets as you go across of this. Just to make sure that they're perfect, slide your ruler up so the bottom dotted line is here, and cut off the little piece. and then you'll go back and forth on the same piece, doing the same thing and doing the same trim. On C, you will now sew one on this side, and it will fit perfectly with flat, flat, sew a 1/4 inch, and this one on the other side, and it will fit perfectly flat, flat, sew across 1/4 inch, and that will get you this piece. And then we'll be right back to show you the last step. Now I'm taking F and G fabrics, right sides together, and just sew on the long side. And when we press, we're pressing away from the light one, and we are going to be trimming these into little units. Oh, make sure you got the right size. So trim these into 2 units. Now my piece here, just for demonstration, happens to be quite a bit longer. Yours won't be quite so long, but just so you know, that's what you'll be doing. When you sew these together, we're making a little 4 patch. I like to make sure that this seam is up towards my needle, so that when I sew, my seam will really push back on the bottom here, and I make a nice center. So I sew with needle coming down. This will naturally want to stay on that little seam shelf and then keep going, and then you will have your center 4 patch. And this is what your block will look like. Here are the first tall triangles that we made. Secondly, we made our C's with our cutaways, and then this is the 4 patch you made in the center. And what a lovely block this is. And if you happen to make it into a quilt, it will look like this. So all good and fun to do. So we've now made our block, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want to take more classes with us, you can. We have a new class schedule coming out very, very soon with lots of fun things on it to do. And we're always here for you whenever you want some extra help or just to see some new things. And if you have found this video useful, please leave us a like and click subscribe for future content. And this has been Ingrid with Quiltessential Co. And thanks for sewing with me today, and we'll see you soon.